A very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to welcome you to the 13th episode of the fifth webinar series titled Why Corporate Sector. This webinar is the 69th PSL webinar for the year 2025-2026. This webinar series is organized by the Webinars and Legal Symposiums Committee of the BASL. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the chairman of the Webinars and Legal Symposiums Committee and the president of the BASL, Attorney at Law, Mr. Rajiv Amarsurya, the co-chairman, firstly, the secretary of the BASL, Attorney at Law, Mr. Chatur Galhena, and the treasurer of the BASL, Attorney at Law, Mr. Pasin Silva, and the conveners and co-conveners, and the members of the Webinars and Legal Symposiums Committee of the BASL. Further, I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Executive Committee of the BASL for all their support and guidance. In today's episode of Why Corporate Sector, we have with us an esteemed guest, Ms. Iresha Kumurulanda. Mrs. Kumurulanda is a result-oriented, multidisciplined, seasoned legal professional with sound academic foundation and more than 25 years in providing thought leadership in the area of legal compliances and corporate governance. As a symbol of her hard work and dedication from the earliest stage of professional pupillage, Ms. Kumurulanda passed out with honors from Sri Lanka Law College and subsequently achieved her Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Kelaniya. She completed her postgraduate advanced diploma in corporate law at the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies in Sri Lanka Law College, passing with a merit pass. Further, Ms. Kumurulanda got her master's in business administration from Asia E University, Malaysia, followed by her master's of law from General Sir John Kotalawala Defence University. Stepping into the professional stage, she started her career as an intern at the National Development Bank and thereafter did her apprenticeship at Samaratna Associates. Following her being called to the bar, she engaged as an active practitioner in the Kurunegala bar. However, her corporate career as an attorney initiated with Paul Ratnaik Associates, where she got the opportunity in handling main corporate clients such as LB Finance Limited and Coates Total Private Limited. It is during this stage of her career that she received the exposure to senior legal practitioners in the industry, which uplifted her career further. She then joined Aban's Environmental Sciences Services Private Limited as a legal officer, company secretary, and HR manager. Her next move was in the finance sector as manager legal at Bartley Finances Limited, where she liaised with different types of litigation matters in the financial sector. Soon after, she joined Epsi Computers Private Limited as their manager, legal and HR, and company secretary, where she enhanced her knowledge in software and hardware industry-related laws. These skills led her to be employed as the group head of legal at Informatics Group for over 10 years, where she gained immense knowledge in corporate agreements, litigation, including international arbitration at Singapore Arbitration Center, and further notarial work. Currently, she is the company secretary and heading the legal, compliance, and sustainability departments at Varun Beverages Lanka Private Limited, better known as Pepsi Sri Lanka, which is not just a multinational company, but the largest bottling company for PepsiCo outside the US. I warmly welcome Ms. Iresha Kumrulanda to today's session. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Shehar Herat, who will be the interviewer for today's session. Over to you, Shehar.
Thank you so much, Dimarsha. And once again, we welcome all of you for the webinar organized by the Bar Association of Sri Lanka titled Why Corporate Sector. And once again, this is a webinar aimed at young lawyers as well as law students. And in general, anyone interested in joining the legal profession, and also who are interested in joining or breaking into the corporate sector. So this is the first webinar we are having for the year 2026. So I would like to wish all of you a very happy new year, a prosperous new year. and those who are engaged in your education or profession. May this year be full of good achievements. And talking of achievements, I think all of y'all um, are very familiar with the brand name Pepsi, and we have none other.
Just did after my finals, when I'm just doing my internship, apparently it does a bank, right? So leads and like, title reports, mortgage bonds, like that. So I was just thinking, banking sector is, I don't think it's good for me. Like, I am like more or less like people's person. I want to talk to people. I want to just to go out and just to do those type of things. So then I started my internship at Samaratna Associates, again like going to courts and like that's also okay, like because we have to learn how to handle from the registry to everywhere in the courts, all how to do all these stuff before starting as a lawyer. So that those things I just learned as Samaratna Associates. After that, I just joined at Paul Ratnayaka Associates, where I started to think this is the place, like, corporate sector is the place that I need to be. Because when I'm just going through all these corporate clients and their issues and all those stuff, I really like to just to learn, like, that's a business world that I need to go and I have to just to face all of those stuff. So I just thought, okay, I need to learn something and I want to be in a corporate sector. That's how my mind changed. Anyway, to tell you the truth, I don't want to go to courts. That's another issue, like, being a lawyer. But again, like, I just thought it's a very hectic thing. And like every day in the morning going to courts and sometimes like, taking dates and all, which like, I'm not like, that is not my interest apparently. I want to do something else, like, I want to just to help the business organization or a business, I mean like a company to grow, like, just give my advice how to do better practices like that. So I just thought, no, my place is the corporate sector. So I have to just to join for a company and just start my career. That's how I put my application towards Abans Environmental Services and just take the opportunity as the legal officer there. When I'm just there as a legal officer, they wanted me to just to handle the human resource department also, where I have started the human resource department and their company secretary also. So that is how I just thought this is my area, this is where like I belong. That's how I start my corporate career, and that is how I just thought that's the best place for me.
Thank you, madam. And also, you mentioned that you're proud to be from Kurunegala. So I would also like to just elaborate, ask you to elaborate on it a bit more, say, because now there is a misconception among a lot of your lawyers, a lot of law students that, that in order to get into the corporate sector or in order to climb up the corporate ladder or to get high positions to be the head of legal or to be the director legal or to get into the board of directors, you need to be born and bred in Colombo or you should go to a school in Colombo, so on and so forth. What do you think about this misconception which is there?
Shahara, that's a very good question, which I like to talk, right? The thing is, coming from Kurunagala outstation, it's not I mean, it's a very challengeable thing, right? Because when getting into a corporate sector, we have to just to, I mean, like just to mingle around the top class business leaders, right? And the society is so different. Like, this is what exactly I have faced, right? And now it's like more or less because of this internet and all these social media and all these stuff. The barrier is like little more. I mean, like it's a little bit easy now, but like when at my time this society is so different. When I'm coming from Kurunegala to Colombo, it's like so different. I have to face a lot of challenges. But Shahara, the main thing is like if we have that ambition, yes, we can do it. This is what I want to tell the junior lawyers, right? Because most of the people who are coming from outstations, right? I want to tell them, yes, we can do. We can just climb up this ladder in the corporate world. The main thing what we have to do is we have to just to read, write, and understand and get better knowledge of English, our language, right? The language is the main barrier for this outstation people. That's what I have seen. I mean, like I have been in so many interviews, right? Interview boards and panels. This is what I have seen. So we have to just to learn. I mean, like we have to just to see how to just to develop our language first. And the second thing is that the how to how to handle all these softwares and how to work in a now the young generation is like much more capable than in those days, so they can do it. So I think the language issue, that is the main problem. I mean, like when you are coming from the outstation. So, and on the other hand, Sharav, I don't have anybody who's known to me, right? I'm always like very, very, very raw person. But thank God I got a good opportunity at Paul Ramnaik Associates, where, as I told you, my senior, Miss Nilanthi Piris, who just trained us how to handle the corporate world, how to talk to corporate people, and how to be in like a corporate lawyer in that world, right? So I have learned a lot from there. So the juniors, what I have to tell them is like first, we have to we have to just to be very clear and have a very good understanding about the language, right? I mean, like not in the just to write, how to write the business letters. Those things are very, very, very important, right? And like reports and presentation skills, those need to be like when we are in a corporate world, presentation skills, report writing, letter writing, those are the main things we have to learn, right? And on the other hand, the thing is like we have to just to study a little bit about the day-to-day business issues. When you are in a business forum, that's the main thing I want to just to tell these juniors. Now when you are in an interview or like anywhere in the corporate sector, when somebody start about the business discussion, we also at least know what's going on, right? We have to know how to like deal with those conversations, and at least just to have some sort of little bit information about the business and share market and what at the moment, what are the economic crises, what are those issues in the country. Those things we need to have. We need to read and understand, and when the business conversation start, we can't talk about the law what we have just learned at the law college. These stuff we need to just to read, understand. We have to just to listen to the news or anywhere, read. We need to just to have some sort of a general knowledge about what going on in the business world. If there's special thing happening, we need to just have, because then that will be easy for us to just to build a conversation at the business world. And on the other hand, like we have to be very, very practical. The most what I have seen is when we are just advising or when we are in the corporate world, our clients are sometimes internal departments, right? And apart from that, customers, right? So when we are just dealing with them, we can't stick to the civil procedure code or whatever the company law act or like that. We can't stick to those laws. We have to think practically. Yes, law is there, but practically how we can handle those things. Now for an example, if you just see, now there are so many cases are there, in the corporate world, in my company also, so many cases are there. So like if I'm trying to just to handle these cases, going to courts and just to trial, and like that will take us like years, which like business world director board will tell me, what is this, Seresha? This is going on and on and on and on. but no solution. So what's the issue? The issue is like we have to think practically. So we have to just to talk to the other side and just get outside court settlement, or at least just to, sometimes when it's come to recovery and all, we can't get the entire amount back to the company, but at least come for something middle and just to talk to them and just to see how we can just settle it. Like that, we have to be very, very practical in this one, corporate world. If you are going with the books and the law, what written in the book, then that is not easy, because like all these we are like, businesses are money driven, no, they are always just thinking about the profit, and we are the service providers, we are not the revenue makers, right? Revenue makers are salespeople who are just doing the sales and just make the revenue for the company. So when it's come to us, like we are service providers, so when we are just buckling them, don't do it, it's not as per the law, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it, then I don't think that any director board will just, you know, they don't like us when we are going to talk like that. So we need to think like, the best way, with possible way, practical way to solve the issues. So those things we have to, I mean, like Shahara, that's not in the book. Right. As you to just now, I just came from Kurunagala, and just to get to know all these stuff, experience matters. And on the other hand, general knowledge matters. On the other hand, we have to read, write, and we have to see what exactly happening in the around our environment, especially business environment. So that's how I think. And there is another thing, we need to have strong, I mean like strong, we have to be very strong and confidence. Otherwise, it's not easy for just to be in the corporate world, right? Because there are so many issues, outside issues will come now, like you can't do this, this issue is there now, you can't be, because so like so many people will tell you something, but we have to just to be very strong. We have to be on the point. We have to be justify our point. We have to justify our point. Like that, I think coming from Kurunagala, I did this. So like all the juniors, if they have confidence, strength, and they can do it.
Certainly. And then I also would like to, I think we already discussed this in your answer to the last question. Now, you're in a position of power within your organization. So you must have groomed a lot of young lawyers, not only lawyers, but, in general, a lot of people under you, especially lawyers. And then you must have interviewed a lot of young lawyers, and you must have promoted a lot of young lawyers. So, with all of that experience, what would you advise young lawyers or law students to have in addition to their knowledge of law? Because now, when someone completes their law college, or when someone completes their LLB, they're out with a basic understanding of the law. And I think that is sufficient to go to courts. But my question is that sufficient to break into the corporate sector, to be a corporate lawyer?
Yes, Shahara. I mean, like, I also just had the normal attorney at law, right? But the thing is, as I told you, we must, if you want to, first of all, as a raw junior, we need to think what is the best area for us, right? And after that, we have to start studying on that particular area. Now, for me, for an example, if I want to be a best person in the corporate world, right? So the normal going to courts, that's there always. But I just wanted to know what are the other stuff I have to just to learn, right? So that is why I started my master's in business administration, right? When I'm just climbing the ladder, when the board, because always I'm in the board, like with as a company secretary, right? So when just to give in the strategic advice, or like just to tell them this is the way, this is the best practice, and this is the corporate governance framework, and this is the whatever the ESG or like anything, we need to first start and to think this is the area I have to just to develop. So for that, at least we need to have some sort of a business knowledge, right? Not only the lawyers, we are just studying the company laws in our final year and at the law college. But the thing is, when it's come to practical world, it's so different. We need at least to just to study how to read the account statements, right? And there are so many stuff, change management and all, there are so many stuff we have to just to learn, and especially human resources, right? All those stuff what I've learned is from my masters of business administration, where it helped me a lot when I'm in the board to just to advise them what are the best practices, how to deal with the issues, and those stuff are not in law, right? So those things we have to learn from from I did masters, but anybody can do anything. Some can do SIMA, chartered, or anything which will help us to be in the corporate world, right? Not only that, we have to just to see, as I told you, recent cases. If there's anything related to the business, what are the new laws coming in, what are the new acts coming in, what are the new regulations coming in, those things we have to know, and we have to just to advise the board. Then the board is very comfortable with us, right? They know that if there's anything, there is a lawyer who will protect us. That need to be there always. So being a corporate lawyer, I think that's the main thing the director board wants from us, right? So as a junior lawyers, yes, they have to first think what is the area they like to go forward, and after that, just to add qualification on that particular area. Some like to be criminal lawyers, some like to be instructing attorneys, some like to be in banking and financial sector, some like to be some other companies. Now now I am in the food industry, right? Food and beverages industry in a multinational company. So there are so many regulations and compliance, so many things to be done. So those things we need to just to think and learn.
Certainly. And also, there is a particular aspect I would like to just discuss in this webinar, which is the role of corporate social responsibility. Now, of course, we know that your organization has pioneered many major corporate social responsibility projects, not only recently but throughout its history. And today, a lot of organizations, a lot of business entities are taking up their role in not only buying, the traditional, doing business, but rather influencing society in a positive way, going beyond their duties and responsibilities to care for the environment, care for the people, care for the well-being of the people, caring for the well-being of women and children, caring for the rights of people, etc., etc. So, do you think that a lawyer who is who has sworn to protect the Constitution of Sri Lanka, the rights and liberties of people, they have an additional responsibility when it comes to promoting corporate social responsibility in organizations, to take the initiative or to take the leadership in instituting new projects which will benefit the society, which will benefit the environment, so on and so forth. And what is the new change in the attitude towards corporate social responsibility in the business sector?
Yes, Shahara, that's a very good question. You can see I am in my designation, head of legal, compliance and sustainability, right? So this compliance part is one of the thing. I will just explain a little bit about this compliance part. Anyway, head of legal, everybody knows, no, have to go to courts and just to deal with all these agreements, court cases and everything, day-to-day issues. But when it's come to compliance, that's another area juniors can just look for, right? Compliance is something that carries the corporate governance. That means corporate governance is the system by which a company is directed and controlled, right? So there are like key pillars are there in a company, right? One is like board of directors, the other one is the management, and the other one is the shareholders, right? How we need to handle these people, three pillars, those are those three main pillars, right? And you know, when it's come to Sri Lanka, our main thing is our legal framework. Main thing is in compliance, Companies Act number 7 of 2007, right? So we need to have a better understanding about this act when it's come to corporate governance. So when it's come to corporate governance, there are directors duties, and there are like those things that when it's come to corporate, I mean like Companies Act, you know, there are certain sections regarding the director's duties, and again about the company secretary's duties also. So those things we need to just to have a good look, and we need to have a good knowledge to advise our board of directors, right? Being the company secretary, that need to be there. And also when it's come to this compliance part, we need to you know, we have to be very good with registrar of companies, having a very good knowledge of what is going at the company's house, register of companies, what are the forms to be filed, and how to just to deal with the board minutes, resolutions. So there are so many things. So those, if somebody wants to be a company secretary, those things need to be practice, experience, and get the knowledge, right? And now you are just talking about, and there are so many other stuff when you come to a corporate, I mean good governance, data protection is there. Like when it's come to employees, there are so many employee related laws that we need to know, right? Some can be just be in that particular area, human resource, where like, you know, all these company related laws, EPF Act, ETF Act, Gratuity Act, Termination Act, there are so many things to know. So on the other hand, like, you know, I mean, I can talk like in this area, in the company secretary area, like so many things that we need to know. And that's a very good place junior can start. You know, some in big organization, like our organization, like banks, there are company secretaries, and that especially listed companies, those company secretaries have much more duties and responsibilities, right? So that if somebody likes to be the company secretary, we need to just to understand that area. And when it's come to that's a one area in compliance part. The other part is like when it's regularity. I mean, like there are so many regulations. Now, for an example, being in the food and beverages industry, we need to just to have a look in the Food Act. It's a very strict, it is a very strict act, so we have to be very careful. So we need to just to give our advice and everything in that area. So we need to have that knowledge. Trademarks is another area where juniors can just to study, right? If they are coming to the corporate world, that's another good avenue. Trademark, how to register a trademark, and what are the treaties in the trademark area, those things, right? And when now you are just ask me about this CSR. You just asked me about the CSR. When it's come to CSR, it's like, you know, I need to just to give you a small clarification. There are two aspects. CSR, the other party is ESG, right? CSR is like something that voluntarily for a reputation and like for those stuff organizations are doing. But when it's come to ESG, that is environmental, social, and governance. That's like a very strategic area where like lawyers can involve. Now, in my company, I am heading that area where like environment, social, governance, all these three avenues we need to manage, right? So this is like something, you know, most of the time, like very big organizations, multinationals, banks, they are just doing this ESG. And in this world, Now that is the main area that everybody is talking, because you know that our environmental pollution is so high. That's why we are just facing all these weather conditions and everything. So like everybody wanted to do a good practices, and all these corporate entities are very much interested to just to have this ESG on their whatever the policies and like internal measurements and all those stuff. So when it's come to regarding the environmental part, I can just tell you so many things, because as a multinational company, you know, we are just doing so many projects you have seen, and with the environmental ministry. So many things we are doing just to protect our environment, and just to manage the waste and everything. And like not only that, like planting trees and so many things we are just doing to just to protect our environment. So when it's come to a lawyer's point of view, yes, we can, like we know the law. I mean, like we can read the law and we can interpret the law. So those things in that area, we can just help the company to tell them, look here, this is the law, and these new regulations are coming now. Where, for an example, National Environment Act last week, it like that so many amendments came into the National Environment Act. So those things we can just advise our board and our management. These are the things are coming in. And when we are doing the environment sustainability projects, we can just see what is the now for waste management. There are so many entities we are just dealing with. Provincial, I mean, like municipal council, local authorities, that there are so many government authorities also. So when it come to that area also, again a lawyer come into practice, because into the picture, because we need to just to read the local government act or the provincial council act. Those things a lawyer can advise better than a normal person, right? So we can be in that area also. We can just see what is, how to just to deal with this. So when it's come to social part, again, employees, customers, communities, and other stakeholders are there. Employees, yes, as I told you, HR is there, human resource department is there. So, but we can just help them how to do the best practices, how to just to help them to just to groom the employees, and just to have, especially when we are writing the internal policies. A company, every company is having internal policies. So these internal policies, basically, we can advise them how to do, and we can just tell them this is the law, and then they will, for an human resource person, they will tell us this is the practical situation. As a lawyer, we can just help them to just to, this is the law, so we can just come to the middle place and just to do our internal policies, like that. Employees, then like when it's come to customers, how to just to handle the best way. Like customer handling is the main part in a business, no? So like how to handle it in, like we always need to be very, as I started my this discussion, we have to be very very practical. We can't be always tell this is slow and this need to be done. So we have to be practical and give a best solution at that point when handling the customers, like that. Then there are so many community work we are doing. I mean, now see, now DIPA came, so we can these days we are doing many things. I mean, we are just building houses, we are just giving books, school books and other stuff for the children who are affected. Like that, there are so many things we are just doing. So in that area, being a lawyer, I think we can do better, because our leadership, we are having always, we are trained to just to think in a legal framework, so when you're doing something, every time company, now what I have seen is companies like to get advice from us. Is this good to be done? If we did this, what will happen? No, tax law is there, customs laws are there. So when we are doing all these things, we have to see all these avenues. Whatever we are doing, It's as per the laws in the country. So like that, when it's come to ESG or the, as you said, CSR or anything, lawyers can take the leadership. That's there always.
Certainly. And also, now I think we discussed about compliance before, but my final question is about compliance. And I would just like to ask now, in addition for the general um, knowledge of the law, you said that we need to have the main responsibility in a corporate lawyer is not only going to courts but also ensuring that the company complies with the laws and regulations of the state.
And yes.
Now, as we all know, there are every day there will be new regulations governing the corporates, and more laws and regulations governing issues like such as finance, tax, so on and so forth, are increasing by the day. So, in that context, do you think that the role of a lawyer as a compliance officer is becoming more challenging? That's my first question. And secondly, because of these new laws, regulations, and new policies on taxation, will there be more job opportunities for legal professionals in the corporate sector in the future?
Uh, yes, Shahara, this compliance part is the main thing in a company. Uh, when from the incorporation of the company, always that a lawyer need the help of the lawyer to incorporate a company, no, to file certain forms in the ROC and draft in the article of association, those stuff. So from that onwards, every company needs a lawyer. But the thing is, there are people who are like pretended they know the law, right? So how to just to manage that, right? So to manage those type of people, that's why sometimes there are opportunities for lawyers in some certain entities, but there are people who just pretended they knows the law, they know the law, right? So those things, how we can just manage those people, we need, as I told many times, I have now just explained you, we need to read a lot, we need to update ourselves, right? We need there are so many things coming in, especially in the government side, there are so many laws and new regulations, when new monetary policies, new taxation policies that's coming in our case, like we need to read and we need to know about those things, then we can manage those people, right? Now when it's come to, that's a challenge, as you asked, that's the main challenge. Now when I'm just telling something, not now in my initial stages, now I'm in the in the senior leadership, no, but now in my main, when I'm a very raw junior legal officer, when I'm telling something, they are coming and arguing with me, look here, no, that's not the way, this is the way we have to do it, like that. So in that type of a scenario, our junior lawyers need to read and understand, and they all about the new laws, new regulations coming in, new decided cases, right? So those things that those people don't know about those stuff, no, decided cases or anything. So they can just explain, this is what the new law. Sometimes this is now the new law, and this is how it we have to just to handle this situation. So being a role junior, we need to have that knowledge. It's easy for us to then tackle that type of a situation, right? And there are so many, when it's come to corporate, well, now when it's come to employees matters, disciplinary actions, everything is coming to the law, right? And now the other issue is, now the AI is there, they are thinking like just to type in something and just to do an agreement or a letter, we don't need a lawyer. Lawyers are very expensive, and to taking a lawyer, we need to pay that much of amount to that particular person, so that they can do it their own. But what is the best part? We need to, now they can do and type something and get a agreement, but at the end of the day, that we need to just to define it now. If some issue comes in, then we need to go to courts and define that, no. So like what we can do as a junior lawyers, we need to tell them, okay, you can type anything and just get the agreement. That's something else. But to define the law and that particular regulations, whatever the related acts and something, then like you need the lawyer, right? Somehow we need to just to stress on that. Otherwise, our jobs are in danger, no? So like we need to show them this is where the lawyers coming in, and this is where like we can give them the best. We need to just to I'm sorry, Shahara, I think I lost the connection, no?
Yes, yes, there was a short interruption, but we
Yes.
can continue.
Yeah, apparently I think something power failure is there in my area. I think that's what exactly has happens. I'm so sorry about it.
It's okay.
So we are just talking about regarding the challenges, no, for the lawyers and like compliance and all. So I was just explaining how to just to place ourselves in the corporate sector and how to just to show them we are very important person in the corporate sector. So as I told you now, I was just discussing about this AI and all those stuff, how to just to challenge AI being a lawyer. So like if they can just do an agreement in the AI, then as I told you, there need to be somebody need to be there who need to be defined whatever the definitions and whatever the clauses, so then we can come into power. We can tell them, okay, right, you need us because we are the one at the end of the day going to courts. They can't go no any issue arise, we have to go to courts. So like that we can just place ourselves in. And on the other hand, being like just to comply all the related laws or filing forms and filing tax, we have to file the tax, we have to advise the director board that these things need to be done, and all these forms, annual returns, so many things need to be filed on the date. So those things we can just, yes, need a lawyer for that. So on the other hand, like anyway, law for the legal cases, instructing part, no, most of the time internal lawyers are doing in the corporate sector. So being an instructing attorney, as I told you, so juniors must know from the from the start how to file a case from the registry, and how it comes to the courts, everything, whatever the papers, how to file everything, a junior needs to know. Otherwise we can't tell anybody, no. Now my juniors are there. If they are doing something, I also have a, I must have that knowledge to just to advise them. This is the thing we need to do. So for that, first we have to learn from the stage. So those things need to be like as a junior we need to develop ourselves. And on the other hand, the main thing we need to develop is like our our appearance. That's also matters a lot when in the corporate world. We can't be like just a normal person, right? So when we are in the corporate world, we need to just to go for that some serious meetings, and like some levels are different, right? Now most of the time in my company we are just dealing with the foreign clients and everything. Then like we need to just to maintain us, we need to have a good we need to have a good understand what we are talking and to present ourselves with the clients and all those stuff. So those things from juniors, we need to think and we need to develop from the first instance.
Certainly. And so would you agree that there would be more opportunities for young lawyers in the corporate sector in the future?
Yes. Sorry, I just forgot because of this power failure. Sorry. I mean, like, yes, there are. I mean, like, as I told you, the AI, everything is there, and there are so many people who are just wanted to act as a lawyer, but there are opportunities. As I told you, we need to present it. We need to show them that we need them. Otherwise, they can't go alone. We need a lawyer in every company, every small company, they need a lawyer, right? Just to move forward. So our place we need to create, and we need to act we act our best to show them. Without us, they can't go this. They can't do this, right? So any business world, lawyers, they are the main person in that particular world. So they need to run. If they wanted to run a business, they need a lawyer. They need a good lawyer. So we have to present them and show them our presence is much more necessary when they are dealing with any business.
Certainly. And my final question to you is there any, so there are young lawyers and there are young law students who might be interested in joining the corporate sector. What is your final message to them?
My final message is, as I told from the inception, the thing is like we need to think what is the area we need to go, right? It corporate sector, instructing attorney, normal practicing lawyer, criminal lawyer, counsel, or whatever. We need to have proper understanding what we have to do. After that, when we just got that, then we have to start on studying on that and add more qualification on it, right? With that, we can come up as a, I mean, like good counsel, good instructing attorney, good corporate attorney, and what is the best sector for us? Some can go to judiciary, like that, you know. So like that, first we need to have that ambition and strong confidence that I one day I'll be like this, and add more qualification, more things to just to develop personal wise and studies, everything need to develop. Whatever we need to have that target. Okay, I will Monday being head of legal of an organization, right? And for that, what else I can do? Normal attorney at law or the degree won't help us, because you know, as I told you, when I'm in an interview board, young people are coming with so many degrees, so many qualifications. Some people, I was just thinking, with this age, how can they do it? Right, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10, that degree, this diploma, so many things. That shows us, like when I'm just in the interview with, that shows us that this particular person is all over, not having one ambition. Then we are not like, you know, we don't like to take that type of a person into our organization, right? We need somebody who will struggle, and there need to be a target, and that particular person struggle and somehow go to that target. That, I think, business world, that's the main thing they are looking for when we are in the interview board. So the juniors need to know, don't go here and there, that degree, this diploma. Just think where need to be. One day, within 5 years, like my main question when I'm in the interview board, I'm asking, within another 5 years time, where are you? Right? What do you want to be? Then, like, you know, they can't answer. They don't have any answer. So the main advice I can give you, if you want to be a good corporate lawyer, just to set a target for this place, I will go somehow and get that experience, do studies and add qualification towards that. So that's my final thing I can tell for all the juniors.
I think that's a wonderful advice, not only for juniors, but for everyone in general, to have a general understanding of the options available and then to set out a target. I think that's what we all need to do in this new year as we move forward to our target. So, once again, I think we are moving towards I think we have come to the end of today's discussion. And once again, I would like to thank our resource person for today evening, Mrs. Iresha Kumurlanda, attorney at law, for sharing her wealth of knowledge with all of us. And also, I would like to thank everyone who has joined in today and who will be viewing this on live on YouTube, and also who will be viewing this on YouTube in the future. So, with that, we would like to once again thank the president of the BASL and the webinars committee and conclude today's discussion.
Thank you, Shahara, and thank you, BSL, to given this type of an opportunity. I think it's a very good program. Please keep it up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This brings us to the end of episode 13 of the fifth webinar series on why corporate sector. I thank our esteemed guests, Ms. Iresha Kumurlanda and Mr. Shehara, for the fruitful and educational discussion and for dedicating your time to be here with us and sharing your knowledge and insights. I thank the BSL Webinars and Legal Symposiums Committee for their dedication and hard work in the organizing this insightful webinar. And last but not least, I thank our audience who joined this session through various platforms. Thank you, and I hope you have a good night.